Have you ever tried to focus on something important, but your mind kept wandering? Like you sit down to study or work, and suddenly you're thinking about dinner, scrolling through your phone, or remembering a random conversation. Why does this happen even when we want to concentrate? Why is it so difficult to control our own mind? And why, even with so many books, apps, and videos on focus, do we still struggle every day? Imagine you're filling a glass with water, but there's a hole at the bottom. No matter how much you pour in, it keeps leaking. That's how our focus is. No matter how much effort we put in, our attention leaks away through distractions. Welcome to Wisdom Woven, the space where ancient Buddhist teachings meet modern life. In this series, you'll learn how to focus like never before using timeless Buddhist insights. Here, you won't hear vague advice, just clear, simple, practical steps to master your attention. There's so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% subscribe. Why miss out on something that can truly change how your mind works? So please, like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. It helps us grow and gives you access to powerful teachings every week. In Buddhism, the mind is seen as the root of everything. If the mind is clear, our actions become clear. But if the mind is scattered, we can't even enjoy the present moment fully. Focus isn't something you force, it's something you uncover. It's already there, but hidden under layers of noise, habits, and thoughts. This first part will gently open the door. You'll understand how focus works at its core. You'll see how Buddhist monks train their minds like a skilled gardener trains the soil. And most importantly, you'll see that you can do it too. No robes, no rituals, just awareness, practice, and patience. So stay till the end, because what you'll learn may shift how you see your life forever. Let's begin the journey. The silent power of breath, taming the restless monkey mind. Sit down gently. Take one breath in. Let it go. Now again, one breath in and out. You see, even this simple act of breathing is where all your power begins. In the world, people chase thousands of things. More money, more success, more entertainment, more answers. But they miss the one treasure that is always with them, the breath. When your breath is fast, your mind becomes stormy. When your breath is slow, your mind becomes calm. It's not magic. It's nature. The Buddha used the breath as a tool to focus the mind. Not because it's fancy, but because it's always available, always honest, and always now. Have you noticed how your thoughts jump like monkeys from one branch to another? One moment, you're thinking about what someone said 5 days ago. The next moment, you're worrying about what might happen next week. In between, you check your phone, look out the window, or wonder what you'll eat later. This is the monkey mind, always moving, never sitting still. But how can we ever focus deeply if the monkey keeps sleeping? The breath is the rope we give the monkey to hold. When we watch our breath, again and again, the monkey slows down. It begins to sit quietly. This is not about forcing focus. It's about inviting stillness. Even monks who have meditated for decades still return to the breath. Because the breath is the doorway to the present. And focus only lives in the present. Let's try it. Right now, close your eyes for a moment. Just feel one breath enter your body. Feel it leave. You don't need to name it. You don't need to control it. Just feel it. Wasn't there a tiny moment of peace? That is focus being born, not through effort, but through attention. When we breathe with awareness, we are no longer chasing thoughts. We are watching them. We are not caught. We are free. Buddha never said, stop your thoughts. He said, be aware of them. And that starts with the breath. The breath is your anchor. Whenever you feel lost, in stress, anger, fear, come back to it. Slowly, softly, patiently. You don't need to run away from your distractions. You need to stop feeding them. Each time you return to your breath, you're training your mind, like training a young puppy to sit. At first, it runs off, again and again, but you gently bring it back. That's practice, not punishment, not judgment, just practice. In Buddhist temples, young monks are taught to count breaths from 1 to 10. Sounds too simple? Try it. Breathe in, count 1. Breathe out, count 2. Keep going until 10. Then start again. Most people cannot reach 10 without the mind wandering. And that's okay. Each time you notice you lost count, smile. You noticed. That's progress. Awareness is more important than perfection. Sometimes the breath is deep. Sometimes it's shallow. Don't control it. Just watch it like you'd watch clouds float across the sky. This simple watching creates space. And in that space, clarity is born. Focus is not tightening the mind. It's relaxing into attention. You are not a machine. You're not supposed to function at high speed all day. Even nature rests. The sun sets. The moon pauses. The trees wait. Why do you run all the time? Pause. Breathe. Let your breath be your home. It will never abandon you. When your boss shouts at you, return a breath. When your family argues, return a breath. When you feel anxious before an exam, or stage, or decision, return a breath. It's always there. Even when you cannot trust your thoughts, you can trust your breath. Some people say, I don't have time to breathe like this. But friend, you're already breathing. You just haven't been noticing. Even one mindful breath a day begins to heal your focus. You don't have to become a monk to do this. You just have to remember, one breath, then one more. And when your mind drifts, and it will, don't feel bad. Just return gently. That's the path. Some of the greatest Buddhist masters spent years just watching their breath. Not because they were slow, but because they were wise. The breath is life. It is now. It is the bridge between body and mind. If you can be with your breath fully, you can be with your work, your family, your thoughts with the same clarity. Focus does not come from outside. It grows inside you, silently, breath by breath. When you are breathing with awareness, you are meditating. When you are meditating, you are training your focus. And when you train your focus, your life begins to change. It's not about big changes. It's about small steps. Today, 5 breaths with awareness. Tomorrow, maybe 10. Soon, your distractions will slow down. Your thoughts will soften. Your presence will deepen. You will begin to feel your life again. Not just live it. This is the Buddhist way of focus. Not through force, but through softness. Not by cutting off thoughts, but by watching them gently. So when your mind feels loud, your heart feels heavy, your attention feels broken, stop for a moment. Close your eyes. Take one soft breath. And remember, you're not lost. You are returning. Again and again and again. This is the silent power of breath. This is how the monkey mind becomes a still, wise friend. This is how focus is born, one breath at a time. Let the world be noisy. Let your breath be your peace. We'll go deeper in the next part. But for now, just breathe. And know, you're already on the path. Impermanence and focus. Finding stillness in a changing world. Sit down for a moment, my friend. Take a slow breath. Now look at the world around you. Everything is moving, isn't it? The sun rises and sets. Clouds drift across the sky. Your body changes, your thoughts change, your feelings come and go. Nothing stays still, not even for a moment. This truth, that everything is changing, is what the Buddha called anicca, or impermanence. But what does this have to do with focus? Everything. You see, when your mind forgets that everything is changing, it clings. It holds tightly to thoughts. It argues with emotions. It resists what is. And in this struggle, your attention is torn apart. Let me give you an example. You sit down to study or work. A thought pops up, what if I fail? Another one, I wonder what they think about me. Then another, maybe I should check my phone just once. These thoughts pull at your mind like tiny hooks. And before you know it, your attention is no longer here. It has been pulled into the past, into the future, into fear, into distraction. Now imagine you understood, deeply, that every thought is just a visitor, that each feeling is like a cloud in the sky. Would you chase the clouds? Would you try to catch the wind? No, you would let them pass. You would return to stillness. This is the power of knowing impermanence. Buddhism teaches, all conditioned things are like dreams, bubbles, shadows, or dew. They arise, they fade. And when you understand this, not just with your brain, but with your heart, you stop fighting your mind. You stop clinging to every thought. Now your focus is not tight like a fist, but open like a calm lake. Still, quiet, able to reflect things clearly without being disturbed by them. Let me tell you about a young monk. He used to get very frustrated during meditation. His mind would jump from one thought to another: food, family, pain in the legs. He thought something was wrong with him. One day his teacher said, "Child, why are you angry at the clouds?" The monk didn't understand. The teacher smiled and said, "Your thoughts are just passing weather. Let them pass." That moment changed everything. He stopped fighting. He simply watched. And in time, his focus became strong. Not because he forced it, but because he no longer got lost in storms. You might ask, how can I do that in everyday life? It begins by noticing. When you feel distracted, ask yourself, what am I clinging to right now? Maybe it's a desire. Maybe it's a fear. Maybe it's an idea of how things should be. Whatever it is, can you watch it instead of wrestling with it? Here's a small practice. Take one object, a cup of tea, a leaf, a pen. Place it in front of you. Sit quietly and simply look at it. When your thoughts come, don't push them away. Just return to the object. Notice how your mind drifts. Notice how the drift passes. Bring it back again and again. This is not about being perfect. It's about returning. That returning again and again is how focus is built. In Buddhism, we don't try to freeze the world. We don't try to freeze the mind. Instead, we ride the wave of change. We learn to surf it with grace. When you accept impermanence, you stop trying to control everything. And in that surrender, your attention becomes free. It becomes light. And surprisingly, it becomes stronger. Another teaching says, trying to hold on to anything in a world that's always changing is like trying to tie down the wind. So don't waste your strength on what won't stay. Use your energy to return again and again to what matters, this moment, this task, this breath. Think of focus not as a narrow beam of effort, but as a wide, steady presence. Not tense, not tight, just clear. Now, let's look at a deeper layer. Many people chase focus by cutting out distractions. They put their phones away. They close the door. They sit in silence. This helps, but it's not enough, because the real distraction is inside. Even in a quiet room, the mind can be noisy. Even with nothing around, thoughts can still chase you. This is where understanding impermanence becomes your secret strength. When you see that every thought is temporary, you stop being scared of them. You stop feeling like you have to follow every idea. You stop getting pulled into every story. Instead, you smile. You let pass. You return. Over time, your mind learns. It learns that it doesn't need to chase. It learns that stillness is safe. And in that stillness, focus begins to bloom. You can try this even during small daily tasks. Washing dishes? Just wash. Driving? Just drive. Eating? Just eat. Thoughts will come. Let them, but don't go with them. Come back to your hands, your breath, your senses. This practice, repeated over days and weeks, will start to rewire your mind. You won't need to force focus anymore. It will be your natural state. And when you forget, when you fall into distraction again, don't blame yourself. Smile gently. Say, this too is impermanent. And return. That's the beauty of this path. No failure is final. Every moment is a new chance to begin again. So my dear friend, don't try to freeze the river. Instead, learn to sit by it in peace. And in that peace, you will find something amazing. You will find that the power to focus is already within you. You just need to stop clinging to what passes and return to what is. One breath at a time, one moment at a time. This is the Zen way. And this is how you find stillness in a changing world. The middle path of concentration, balance over extremes. Let me tell you a story, a very old one. Long ago, before I had this robe, before I had this calm breath, I was just like you, a person with a restless mind, a heart full of desire, and a head full of noise. I would sit to meditate, and in a few seconds, I'd be somewhere else, planning, worrying, remembering, dreaming. The mind doesn't ask for permission. It runs. One day, I asked my teacher, why can't I focus? Why is it so hard to sit still and just be? He looked at me with kind eyes and asked, have you ever played a string instrument? I said no. He smiled and said, if the string is too tight, it will snap. If it's too loose, it won't make any sound. Your mind is the same. That was my first lesson in what the Buddha called the middle path, not too tight, not too loose. Not forced, not lazy. This path is the secret to focus that does not burn you out and doesn't let you drift away either. Many people think focus means forcing your mind like a soldier. Sit straight. Don't move. Think only about this. But this kind of attention is too tight. It makes your body stiff, your mind tired. After a few minutes, you feel like giving up. You begin to feel that focus is a fight, a punishment. On the other hand, some say, just relax, let the mind do what it wants. That's the other extreme, too loose. If you allow the mind to wander freely, it will gladly run in every direction like a wild horse with no rope. So what do? We walk in between. We apply what we call gentle attention. You don't force the mind, and you don't let it go wild. You sit, you breathe, and you return. Again and again. Gently. With care. With love. That is the middle path of concentration. Think of a candle flame in a room. If there is wind, the flame shakes. If you cover it too tightly, the flame dies. But if you protect it just enough, not too open, not too closed, the flame becomes still. That's how your attention becomes on the middle path. Still bright, alive. In Buddhism, we use the word Samadhi. It means collectedness, a gathering of the scattered mind. But this collectedness doesn't come by pressure. It comes by balance. Let's look at your day. You wake up and immediately check your phone. Your mind is now split. Messages, news, updates. Then you try to work or study, but you're already pulled in 5 directions. You feel tired, and so you force yourself to concentrate. You tighten your grip. Soon, you feel frustrated. You open YouTube, hoping to feel better. Hours pass. You feel guilty. You promise to try harder tomorrow. This is the cycle of extremes. To break this cycle, you must remember, effort is not everything. The right kind of effort is everything. This is what the Buddha taught. Right effort, right concentration, right mindfulness. All these are part of the Noble Eightfold Path, and they work together. Right concentration is not something you can pick like a fruit. It grows when the tree is healthy, and the roots are your balance. If your life is filled with tension, don't expect your mind to be calm. If your schedule is chaotic, don't expect your focus to be sharp. Start small. Sit for 5 minutes. Just breathe. Don't aim to control your thoughts. Just notice them. And when a mind drifts, gently bring it back. Not with anger, not with shame. Just return like a mother bringing her child back home. Now, you may ask, isn't it boring to just sit and breathe? I tell you, when you truly taste your breath, even a single inhale becomes a universe. That breath is not just air. It is life. It is presence. It is now. The middle path also applies to your goals. Don't chase after results. Don't say, I must concentrate for 1 hour today. Start with small promises. Keep them. Build slowly. Focus like muscles. Grows with repetition, not pressure. In the Zen tradition, we have a saying, chop wood, carry water. Before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. What does this mean? It means, even after deep meditation, even after finding great focus, you still return to simple things, but now you do them fully. With presence, with grace, with no rush. You don't have to be a monk to live this way. You just need to care about the quality of your attention. When you eat, just eat. When you walk, just walk. When you talk, just talk. That's the middle path. No need for robes, rituals, or mantras, just this moment done fully. Do not think you're too distracted to learn this. Every master was once a beginner. Every monk was once restless. Every calm mind was once noisy. What changed? They learned the art of balance. You may also find that some days are easier than others. That's normal. The moon has phases, the seasons change, and your mind is also a part of nature. Some days your focus flows. Other days, it's muddy. But don't judge. Just keep showing up. The middle path is not about perfection. It's about persistence. Now, let's look deeper. Why do we struggle so much to find this balance? Because we cling. We cling to outcomes. We crave results. We hate discomfort. And clinging, in Buddhism, is one of the roots of suffering. The more you cling to having perfect focus, the more distracted you become. So we practice non-attachment, not in the sense of giving up effort, but in letting go of obsession. We do what we can, and we release the rest. We stop comparing. We stop chasing. We return to this breath, this step, this task. This is the power of the middle path. It doesn't scream. It whispers. It doesn't promise instant results. It promises deep transformation over time. Even in your daily activities, bring this balance. When you speak with someone, are you listening fully or waiting to reply? When you eat, are you tasting or just chewing while scrolling? These are small moments where the middle path can come alive. The more balanced your life becomes, the more naturally your concentration deepens. You don't have to fight anymore. Focus becomes your nature. And the beauty? This focus is not heavy. It's light. It's joyful. It's like watching a bird glide, not flap. It's smooth because it flows from within. So remember, not too tight, not too loose. This is the golden key. This is the teaching of the Buddha, passed through centuries across forests and temples, now reaching you through this screen. And if you practice even a little each day, with sincerity, with patience, you'll begin to feel it. A space opens in the mind, a calmness, a clarity. You'll start to focus like never before. Not because you forced it, but because you allowed it. This is the way, the middle path of concentration. Let us meet again in the next step of your journey. Until then, walk gently, sit deeply, and breathe with kindness. The fire of mindfulness, igniting laser-sharp attention. Sit down, breathe. Just for a moment, be still. Now, tell me, where's your attention? Most people don't know where their attention is. It jumps from one thing to another like a frog hopping across lily paths. Thought to thought, screen to screen, noise to noise. And they wonder, why is focus so hard? Listen carefully. The secret to unshakable focus is not in trying harder. It is in becoming more aware. This is called mindfulness, the fire that brings the scattered mind into one sharp beam, like sunlight through a magnifying glass. Let me share something simple. Imagine you are walking in the forest. You hear birds, see trees, feel the breeze. Suddenly, your phone rings. You pull out, read a message, check another app. When you look up, you've forgotten where you were going. That is what happens to your mind every single day. But a mindful person walks with full awareness. Each step is known. Each sound is heard. They see the tree, then they see their thoughts too. They're not pulled away by every ring or beep. That is the difference. What is mindfulness? Mindfulness means knowing what you are doing while you are doing it. If you're drinking tea, you know you're drinking tea. If you are reading, you know you are reading. If you are breathing, you feel your breath. This sounds simple, doesn't it? But look deeply. We live most of our lives without this awareness. We eat while watching videos. We walk while thinking about yesterday. We talk while planning what to say next. So we never actually live the moment we are in. Mindfulness is the practice of returning to now. Why do we lose focus? Your mind is like a candle in the wind, always flickering. Why? Because of habit. You have trained it for years to jump, to react, to crave. Advertisements, social media, multitasking, all of these teach your mind to scatter. Buddhism teaches us, where there is craving, there is distraction. When you're always running after the next thing, more likes, more noise, more stimulation, you're training your mind to be restless. So, we need to train the opposite, the art of being here. Mindfulness as a flame. I told you, mindfulness is like fire. At first, it's small, flickering. But if you feed it with daily attention, it grows strong. And this fire can light up every corner of your life. Your work, your relationships, your peace. A monk once said, when walking, just walk. When sitting, just sit. Above all, don't wobble. What does this mean? It means do one thing fully. Not half here, half there, but completely here. This is the beginning of deep concentration. The myth of multitasking. Some people say, I can do many things at once. But Zen says, you're not doing many things well. You're doing many things badly. Mindfulness teaches you the value of one-pointedness. When you read, just read. When you cook, just cook. When you talk to someone, just listen. And when you meditate, just breathe. Try this for 1 hour a day. You'll see, your mind begins to settle like calm water. Focus is not forced. It arises naturally when distractions fall away. The breath as your anchor. How we begin? With the breath. The breath is always here. It doesn't need your permission. It comes in, it goes out like waves on a shore. So in Buddhist practice, we use the breath as the anchor for mindfulness. When your mind drifts, come back to the breath. When you're lost in thought, come back to the breath. It is your home. Just feel the air into your nose. Feel your chest rise. Feel it fall. Nothing fancy. Just be there with it. This one practice alone can sharpen your focus more than any technique. A daily practice of fire. Now let me show you a small daily mindfulness ritual. When you wake up, sit on your bed for 1 minute. Just breathe. Don't look at your phone yet. When you drink water, pause, feel the coolness, say silently, I am here. When you walk, notice your steps. Hear the sound of your feet. Feel your body move. These small actions build a fire. Buddhism does not give you 100 things to do. It gives you one thing and asks you to do it fully. What happens when you practice this daily? At first, you'll forget. Many times, your mind will wander. You'll check your phone, get lost in thought. That's okay. Each time you remember, you're already growing. Each return is a victory. Mindfulness is not about being perfect. It's about coming back again and again. And slowly, very slowly, your mind becomes quieter. You start noticing things you never did before. The taste of food, the sound of rain, the space between words. You stop reacting and start responding. Your focus becomes deep like a river, flowing but undisturbed. Mindfulness at work and study. Many people say, I can't focus on studies or work. My mind runs away. Try this. Before starting, sit for 1 minute. Just breathe. Tell yourself, for the next 20 minutes, I will give this task my full attention. Then begin. Don't aim for hours of focus. Aim for small bursts, 20 minutes, 10 minutes. Use a timer if needed. But once you start, no switching tabs, no checking phones. Make your task the whole universe for that time. And when you're done, rest, then return. This is how months work too. Quietly, fully, step by step. Not rushed, not distracted, just present. The joy of being present. You might think mindfulness is hard, but actually it brings great joy. When you are fully present, life becomes rich. Even washing dishes becomes beautiful. Even waiting in line becomes peaceful. Because you are there. Not lost in thoughts, not waiting for the next moment, but alive here now. Zen says, when you eat, your food should taste like a feast. When you sleep, your dreams should be clear. This happens when a fire of mindfulness burns bright. You're not your thoughts. One more secret. Most of your distractions are not from outside. They come from inside. Your thoughts pull you away. Memories, plans, regrets, desires. But you're not your thoughts. You're the one watching the thoughts. With mindfulness, you begin to see this. You see a thought arise, and you let it go. You don't follow it. You don't fight it. You just come back to breath, to body, to now. This is true freedom. You no longer get pulled into every story your mind creates. You begin to choose where your attention goes, from scattered to centered. In Zen, we use the image of a mountain. When the wind blows, the trees sway, the clouds pass, but the mountain remains still. Be that mountain. Let thoughts, emotions, and distractions come and go, but don't chase them. Stay grounded, rooted, steady. This stillness is the heart of mindfulness. From here, true focus shines like a clear moon in the sky. In summary, mindfulness is the fire that melts distraction, is the light that guides your focus. It is the art of being here now. No need to escape to a cave or monastery. Right where you are, you can practice this. While brushing your teeth, while typing, while walking, while breathing. Let this fire grow. Feed it with attention. And soon, you will focus not like before, but like never before. Stay with this path. We're just beginning. The next step will take you even deeper. Let the fire burn. Let the focus begin. Zen and the art of single-pointed awareness. You want to focus like never before, don't you? Then sit down quietly. Don't force yourself. Just sit like a rock rests on the ground, solid, unmoving without a plan. This is the beginning of focus. We are now at the heart of the journey. Not the start where things feel exciting and new. and not yet the end where everything is clear and still. We are right in the middle where most people give up. But you won't. You're still here. So let's go deeper. Let me tell you a story. Once a student came to me and said, "Master, my mind jumps like a frog on fire. I try to focus, but it runs here and there. I cannot stop it." I smiled. "The frog isn't the problem," I said. "The fire is. You see, the problem is not your mind moving. The problem is what's burning underneath, your habits, your fears, your untrained attention. When the mind burns with craving, it jumps. We do not fight the frog. We cool the fire. Zen is not about making the mind still like a dead stone. It is about knowing the movement and not being moved by it. Now, what does single-pointed awareness mean? It's very simple. It means putting your full attention on one thing, only one, and staying with it like you're watching a candle flame in a dark room. When you eat, just eat. When you walk, just walk. When you breathe, just breathe. No phone, no plan, no past, no future. Just one thing fully, totally. But people say, "That's boring. I need stimulation." And that's where Zen smiles. Because what you call boring is actually the doorway to peace. Let me ask you, if your mind is constantly jumping from one thing to another, are you ever really living? You are busy, but not awake. You're moving, but not going anywhere. To develop single-pointed awareness, we must begin by slowing down. That is the first step, to slow down. Drink your tea slowly. Feel the cup in your hand. Taste the warmth in your mouth. Listen to the silence around you. Let your breath settle. When you give all your attention to this one thing, you are training your mind. Like a bowman pulls the string of a bow, slowly, steadily, with care, you're drawing all your energy into this one point. This is focus. In the monastery, we clean the floor slowly. We chop vegetables slowly. We walk from one hall to another slowly. Not because we are lazy, but because we know speed breaks awareness. Speed cuts attention into pieces. You cannot focus if you're rushing. So, the next time you feel distracted, don't ask, "What should I do?" Ask, "Can I slow down and return to just this?" Here's a simple practice. Take a deep breath. Now count just 5 breaths. Inhale, exhale, that's 1. Do this 5 times and do nothing else. Don't fix anything. Don't change anything. Just feel. If a thought comes, smile and return a breath. That's all. Do this once in the morning. Once before sleeping. That's it. This is not a trick. This is the path. Now, people will tell you, multitask, be efficient, get more done. But tell me honestly, do you want a life that is full of things or full of meaning? Zen doesn't care about doing more. Zen cares about being here, fully here. A person can do one task and be alive, awake, and joyful. Another can do 10 tasks and feel empty, lost, confused. Which one are you? Remember this truth. Scattered attention is like weak sunlight. It warms nothing. Focused attention is like a magnifying glass. It can set the world on fire. In the Zen way, we become the magnifying glass. We bring our whole self to this moment. Let me tell you a secret. There is no future focus. There is no future peace. There is no future calm. All of it, everything you want, is only possible now. So if you don't train your attention now, you'll always chase and never arrive. Even while sitting in a quiet room, your mind will be in 100 noisy places. But when you train your attention on one thing, this one moment becomes rich, beautiful, full. That is the power of single-pointed awareness. And what if thoughts come? Let them. In Zen, we don't block thoughts. We see them, like clouds passing in the sky. You are not the cloud. You are the sky. When a sound comes, hear it. When a thought comes, notice it. When a feeling comes, feel it. Then, return to the one thing. Like a candle in the wind, stay steady. This is not easy at first. Your old habits will fight back. Your phone will buzz. Your mind will crave stimulation. You will feel uncomfortable. Good. That means the training is working. Keep returning. That's all Zen asks. Come back to this step. Come back to this moment. Come back to this breath. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to keep coming back. Slowly, your attention becomes strong. Your focus becomes clear. And you begin to feel something rare, silence, presence, power. That is the moment you stop chasing life and begin living it. So now I ask you, can you place your full attention on just this line? Can you stay with only this breath? Can you look at a flower, a stone, a bird, and not name it, not think about it? Just see it? That's single-pointed awareness. That's Zen. And that's the kind of focus that changes your life, not just your productivity. So go. Practice. Not tomorrow. Not later. Now. Slowly, gently with awareness. The art is not in doing more. The art is in being more awake in whatever you do. And when you begin to live like this, you'll never need to try to focus again. Focus will become who you are. Keep walking the path. The mountain is not moving. You are. Detachment. The secret ingredient to mental clarity. Sit down, child. Breathe slowly. You've come far in this journey of discovering how to focus like never before. Now let me share with you something that may sound strange at first, but is the secret behind the sharpest mind. Detachment. Yes, I know, when people hear the word detachment, they think it means not caring, being cold, or avoiding life. But this is not true. Detachment is not the same as disinterest. In the teachings of the Buddha, detachment is a warm and powerful freedom. It is the quiet letting go of what pulls your mind in many directions. And once you let go, focus appears like the full moon after clouds part. Let me give you a small image. Imagine your mind is like a clear pond. But when we are attached to success, praise, worries, memories, it's like we're throwing stones into that pond. Every stone creates ripples. How can you see your reflection when the water is always disturbed? When we practice detachment, we stop throwing stones. We don't stop living or loving. No, we still work, we still care, we still help others. But we no longer cling to things. And without that clinging, the water becomes still. And in stillness, we can finally see. Now, think of the times when you were deeply distracted. Weren't your thoughts wrapped around something? Maybe it was, I hope I don't fail. Or, I need them to understand me. Or, what if I miss this opportunity? These thoughts are not the problem. The problem is the tight grip we hold them with. Like a child who won't let go of a toy, even though it's broken. The Buddha taught that the root of suffering is attachment. To want, to resist, to hold on, to push away. And this attachment creates a storm inside the mind. Focus becomes impossible in a storm. But if you begin to loosen your grip, if you say gently, I see you thought, but I don't need to hold you, then a great silence comes. And in that silence, the mind becomes clear like glass. Let me tell you the story of a Zen student who came to his master and said, Master, I cannot concentrate. My mind is always running. The master handed him a cup and started pouring tea. But he didn't stop pouring. The tea spilled over, running down the table. The student shouted, Master, it's overflowing. The master said, just like your mind. How can it focus when it is too full? Detachment is the act of gently emptying the cup, not throwing it away, just not overflowing it with unnecessary thoughts, desires, and fears. Some people think, but if I detach, I will lose my passion. That is a misunderstanding. Detachment does not kill passion, it purifies it. It turns desperate effort into calm strength. Imagine a dancer. If she is too worried about the audience, about being perfect, about winning, her steps become stiff. But when she lets go of all that and just dances with full presence, she becomes art itself. That is detachment. And how do we practice it? Slowly, patiently. In Buddhism, we use mindfulness to notice our attachments. We don't fight them or judge them. We just see them clearly. For example, when a mind says, I need this person to respect me, we say, attachment, and we watch how it feels, how it pulls, and we sit with it, breathing, like sitting with a child who is crying, not pushing them away, but also not obeying every cry. The key is this: what we are aware of, we can let go. Awareness is the light that reveals the tight fist of attachment. Once we see it, the hand can open. Zen monks often practice this in daily life. When eating, they focus only on eating, not planning the next meal or remembering yesterday's flavors. When walking, they walk. When sweeping the floor, they sweep, There's no rush, no greed, no resistance. Just this moment. Nothing clung to, nothing chased. And so, their minds become like still lakes, and their focus becomes sharp like a blade. You could try this too. Today, whatever you do, do it without attachment. Don't rush through it to get to the next thing. Don't do it just for praise or reward. Just do it fully, like a painter who loves each brushstroke, or a gardener who touches each leaf with care. And when distractions come, as they will, don't panic. Just smile inside and say, this too. Let it come. Let it go. Like clouds passing through the sky. The sky never fights the clouds, and yet it remains untouched. Even in relationships, detachment brings focus. When we are attached to control or expectation, our thoughts race. Why do they say that? Will they change? What if I lose them? But when we love without clinging, we become calmer. We listen better. We speak with more care. We give space. And we feel lighter. The mind returns to the present. This is the heart of Buddhist focus. Not force, but freedom. Not pressure, but presence. Not chasing, but resting. When you rest in detachment, your mind becomes like a clear sky, and your focus shines like the sun. Let's not confuse detachment with giving up. It's not about being passive. It's about being peaceful inside. You still act. You still give your best. But you're not disturbed by outcomes. You do what you must, and you let go. Just like a farmer plants seeds and waters them, but does not scream at the sky for rain. Every day, life gives us moments to practice this. Someone may cut you off in traffic. A message may go unanswered. A plan may change. These are not problems. They are teachers. Small chances to soften the grip, to say, I do not control all things, and that's okay. And in this acceptance, your energy returns. Your mind stops fighting, and focus quietly walks in. Child, if you remember only one thing from today's teaching, remember this. You are not your thoughts. You are not your attachments. You are the space in which they arise and pass. Like wind through the trees. You are the stillness behind it all. And from this stillness, true focus flows. So do not chase focus. Instead, release the things that block it. Let go of the noise. Loosen the knots in your mind. And what remains will be your natural clarity, calm, strong, unshakable. Now go and gently practice this detachment, not once but many times, in moments big and small. And you will begin to see. The more you release, the more clearly you can see. The less you cling, the deeper you can focus. And this, child, is the secret you were never told. Let us sit with this now and return to silence, walking the eightfold path to ultimate focus. So, you want to know how to focus? Not just for a few minutes, not just during work or study, but truly, from the heart, to focus like never before? Good. Then today, I will walk with you through the ancient road. It is called the Eightfold Path. This path is old, very old. But don't let that scare you. Old doesn't mean useless. Old means tested. In this path, it has helped thousands, millions, maybe more. People just like you. People with wandering minds. People who feel lost, tired, distracted. People who wanted to bring light into their mind. And this light, my dear listener, is called right focus. But it doesn't stand alone. It walks with 7 other friends. Let me tell you about them, not in complicated words, but as if we're sitting under a tree with tea in our hands and the world finally quiet. 1. Right view. Focus begins with seeing clearly. Not with the eyes, but with understanding. If you think life is only about chasing things, money, fame, likes, your mind will always jump around. But when you see that life is brief, that moments are precious, your focus becomes stronger. It's like suddenly wearing clean glasses. Everything becomes sharp. A distracted person is often not a bad person. They're just seeing the world in the wrong way. So the first step is this. See things as they are. Impermanent, changing, beautiful and fragile. Then your heart becomes still. Then your focus begins. 2. Right intention. Why do you want to focus? Is it just to finish work faster? Or to become smarter than others? No. If your intention is selfish, your focus won't last. But if your intention is to understand life better, to be kind to yourself, to be useful to others, your focus becomes deep, quiet, and strong. Like a candle in a room without wind, your attention will not flicker. Set the right intention, not just once, every day. 3. Right speech. You might ask, what does speech have to do with focus? Let me show you. If your words are careless, your thoughts become scattered. If your speech is full of lies, your mind becomes restless. But if your words are gentle, truthful, and helpful, your heart becomes peaceful. And a peaceful heart is a focused heart. So speak only when needed. And when you do, speak slowly. Speak mindfully. Then your mind learns to be still. 4. Right action. Everything you do, every small action, leaves a trace in your mind. When you harm others, your mind carries guilt. When you cheat, your mind becomes sneaky. But when your actions are kind and honest, your mind becomes open, like a calm lake. So don't separate your focus from your daily life. If your actions are clean, your mind will be sharp. Cutting vegetables? Do it with full presence. Walking to the market? Let your feet feel the ground. Even washing a cup? Be there with the cup. That is right action. 5. Right livelihood. This one is simple. What you do for a living, it affects your focus. If your job causes harm, if it makes you lie or stress all the time, your focus will suffer. But if your work helps others, if it brings peace or joy or healing, then your heart will feel light. And a light heart does not jump around. It stays with the moment. So ask yourself, does my work support my peace? If not, maybe it's time to shift. Even a small change can bring back your lost attention. 6. Right effort. Focus is not about trying too hard. It's not about forcing the mind to obey. It's like tending to a garden. You pull out weeds, you water gently, you give sunlight. You don't scream at the plant to grow. Same with your focus. Don't get angry when the mind wanders. Just bring it back again and again, gently. This is right effort. Consistent. Soft. Kind. Not lazy, not harsh. Like holding a bird in your hand. Not too tight, not too loose. Try it next time your attention slips. Just smile and bring it back. 7. Right mindfulness. Now we come closer to the heart of focus. Mindfulness means knowing what you are doing while you are doing it. When eating, just eat. When sitting, just sit. When listening, just listen. No past, no future, just this. This sounds simple, but it is not easy because our mind loves to wander. But when you train it slowly, you start to live inside the moment. And when you are fully here, this is true focus. The kind no phone can steal. The kind no worry can shake. This is mindfulness. 8. Right concentration. Now we arrive. This is where the mind rests on one thing, completely. It could be your breath. It could be a candle flame. It could be a mantra, or a thought, or silence itself. And when the mind stays, something beautiful happens. It opens up like a flower. Calm, bright, deep. This is not dull focus. It is alive, aware, full of peace. Buddhists call this state Samadhi. It is not just for monks. It is for anyone who learns to sit, to stay, to be. You can practice it, starting with just 1 minute. 1 breath, 1 step, 1 word. And from there, everything will change. Let me tell you a secret. You don't have to perfect all 8 steps today. Even monks take years. But every step you take will help you. Every small improvement in view, speech, effort, it adds up. And over time, your focus becomes not just a skill, but a way of living. You won't need to try to focus. You will be focused, naturally, effortlessly, because your whole life will be in alignment. A small practice to start today. Here's what I want you to try today. Pick any small task, maybe drinking a cup of tea, or brushing your teeth, or even tying your shoes. And for that 1 moment, do only that. No phone, no ruse, no thoughts of before or after. Just that one action with full awareness. Feel everything. The texture, the sound, the movement. This is how the Eightfold Path begins. Not with big talk, but with small presence. So, dear one, you have now seen the Eightfold Path, not as a list to memorize, but as a way to walk, a way to breathe, a way to live, and slowly, a way to focus like never before. Keep walking, keep breathing, and always come back to the now. This is the way of clarity. This is the way of peace. This is the way of the awakened mind, the lotus within, cultivating inner peace to sharpen presence. Let me ask you something, my dear one. Have you ever seen a lotus flower? It grows in muddy water, yet it blooms, untouched, unstained, beautiful. Now, what if I told you that your mind is just like that lotus? Right now, it may feel trapped in mud, stress, noise, distractions, emotions, but the potential to bloom, pure and still, is already within you. This is what we call the lotus within. And when you understand how to awaken it, your focus becomes something no storm can disturb. We're not trying to fix the mud. We are not waiting for life to become perfect. We are simply learning how to rise above it through stillness, presence, and peace. And it all begins by turning inward. So many people chase focus like chasing a butterfly. They run faster, work harder, download more apps. But the truth is, focus is not something you chase. It is something you settle into. Just like the lotus doesn't chase the sun, it opens naturally when the conditions are right. And what are those conditions? Peace, but not the peace of silence around you, the peace of stillness within you. This is where real focus lies. Not in control, not in force, but in quiet power. When the inside becomes still, the outside becomes clear. Think of a lake. If the water is still, you can see the reflection of the sky. But if the water is disturbed, you see only confusion. So, how do we still the water of the mind? Let us begin together. First, take a breath. Not a shallow one, a deep, conscious breath. Inhale slowly, now exhale gently. Feel it. That moment? That's presence. And presence is the seed of peace. You don't need to buy it. You already have it. Buddhism teaches us to return to the breath, not because it's magical, but because it's real. The breath is always in the present moment, and focus can only exist in the present. You can't focus in the past. You can't focus in the future. You can only focus now. So each time your mind wanders to a memory, to a worry, to a notification, come back. Come back like a mother returns to her child. Gently, lovingly, without anger. The mind will wander, it's what it does. But you don't have to follow it. Just return. Again and again and again. This is not failure. This is training. The great monks of old didn't become peaceful overnight. They stumbled, they struggled, they forgot, but they always returned. And one day, their return became so quick, so natural, that the mind settled like a feather touching the ground. Now, let me tell you a small story. A young disciple came to a Zen Master and said, "Master, I cannot focus. My mind is always thinking, running, talking." The master smiled and poured tea into a cup until the tea overflowed. The disciple shouted, "Master, the cup is full. It can't take more." The master replied, "So is your mind, full of everything but stillness." The disciple understood. What is your mind full of right now? What fills your cup? Stress, thoughts, regrets, goals, deadlines. To bring peace, we must first make space, not by removing the world, but by seeing it clearly. How? Begin with silence. Not the silence of the room, the silence between your thoughts. In every moment, there's a gap. That gap is not empty. It is where your peace waits for you. If you listen closely, even in a noisy world, you will find it. That is where the lotus grows. And you know something else? You don't need an ashram. You don't need a forest. You don't need to escape the world to find this inner peace. You can find it while doing the dishes, while walking down a busy street, while typing an email, because presence is portable. It travels with you. Let your daily life be your meditation. When you eat, just eat. Feel the texture, the taste, the movement of your hands. When you listen, just listen. Not to reply, but to understand. When you walk, just walk. Notice your steps, the wind, the ground. This is not boring. This is beautiful. Because every moment you are present, you are alive. And the more alive you feel, the more your focus becomes natural. It's not effort, it's expression. Your awareness becomes like sunlight through a clear sky. Bright, direct, calm. Let's take another example. A candle flame flickers in the wind, but if you shield it, the flame becomes steady. Your focus, is the same. To make it steady, you must create a space around it, a space of inner peace. Meditation is one way, but peace is not only found on a cushion. It's found in pauses, in slow breaths, in letting go of the need to rush, in saying no to noise that doesn't serve you. Buddhism teaches us something very simple. The more we cling, the more we suffer. When we stop clinging to results, to distractions, to self-judgment, we become free. And in that freedom, our focus becomes powerful. You see, focus is not a tight grip. It's an open presence, a relaxed alertness. You're not forcing the mind to obey. You are inviting it to stay. Invite your mind with kindness. Treat it like a dear friend, not a stubborn enemy. And you'll see, the mind wants peace too. It just doesn't know the way until you lead it. So, my dear one, remember this. The lotus does not bloom by fighting the mud. It blooms by growing toward the light. Your mind is no different. Don't waste energy fighting your distractions. Instead, nourish your inner peace. And you will notice your focus will bloom quietly, naturally, unshakably. This is the way of the lotus. This is the way of presence. And now, it is your way too. Let's walk gently on this path, one peaceful step at a time. Bodhisattva's discipline, focus as a sacred duty. Sit down gently, as if the earth is holding you. Let your breath settle. Let the world outside go quiet. Now listen closely, not just with your ears, but with your heart. You'll come far on this path. You've learned how to notice your breath. You've watched thoughts come and go like clouds in the sky. You've seen how the mind dances and you've started to slow its rhythm. But now we walk into deeper waters. This is not just about you anymore. In Buddhism, there's a special being, the Bodhisattva. A Bodhisattva is someone who chooses not just to escape suffering, but to help others wake up too. He or she walks with the pain of the world, not away from it. Their heart is vast. Their focus is not sharp like a knife. It is gentle like sunlight falling on a flower. But it is steady, unmoving, clear. And this is the focus we now speak of. You see, many people try to focus so they can make more money, finish more work, get more done. But the Bodhisattva sees focus as a sacred duty. Why? Because without focus, we cannot listen deeply. Without focus, we cannot truly love. Without focus, we are only half alive, drifting, reacting, lost in a sea of noise. A distracted mind cannot see the suffering around it. It cannot see the small signs in a friend's voice or the pain behind someone's anger. A distracted mind sees only itself. But when you are fully present, fully awake, you become a refuge. You become the mountain others lean on. Focus is not just mental. It is moral. It is compassion. It is your way of saying to the world, I am here. I am listening. You matter. That's the discipline of the Bodhisattva. Now let me tell you a small story. There was a monk who swept the temple floor every morning just before sunrise. People would laugh at him. You clean the same floor every day. It gets dusty again. The monk only smiled. One day someone asked, why do you do this every single day? He replied, I'm not cleaning the floor. I'm cleaning my mind. This sweeping was not a task. It was his practice of focus, of care, of service, of presence. The Bodhisattva doesn't need a perfect environment to concentrate. He focuses even in noise, even in pain, even when he's tired or sad or confused, because his focus is not for him. It is for all beings. This is the turning point, from self-focused to world-focused, from what can I get from this focus to how can I serve with this presence. Do you see the shift? Before, focus was a tool to help you. Now focus becomes a gift you give. Let's speak about discipline. Discipline does not mean being hard on yourself. Discipline means remembering what matters again and again. It means choosing what is true, even when the mind wants to wander. It means saying no to distraction, not because someone told you to, but because you have seen the cost. You know that when your attention is scattered, you miss your own life. You know that when you're fully here, even washing dishes, even tying your shoelaces, life opens up. So you come back, gently, with kindness. That is the Bodhisattva's way. There's another story from the Zen tradition. A student asked his teacher, "What is the most important practice?" The master replied, "Attention." The student asked again, "Is there anything deeper?" The master said, "Attention." The student asked a third time. The master replied, smiling, "Just this. Attention. Attention is the root of love. Attention is the root of wisdom. Attention is the root of peace. Without it, nothing grows. With it, everything becomes sacred." The Bodhisattva trains every day, not by adding more techniques, but by returning again and again to what is already here. The breath, the body, the sound of wind, the feeling of tea in the hand. Nothing fancy, just this moment fully met. And when distraction comes, and it will come, he does not fight it. He bows to it, smiles, and comes back. Again, and again, and again. That is the discipline, not force but return. Not pressure but patience. Sometimes people ask me, "How long will it take until I'm always focused?" I tell them, it's not about how long. It's about how you return. Every return to now is a victory. Every breath noticed is a blessing. There's also joy here. When you stop chasing pleasure and just be, you discover a soft happiness. It's not loud. It doesn't jump up and down. It just sits quietly in your heart like a sleeping cat. This joy is the gift of deep presence. And from this joy, compassion flows like a river. So if you feel tired, if you feel scattered, it's okay. Just sit. Just breathe. Just come back. And remember, your focus is not just for productivity. It is your love in action. A bodhisattva does not wait for perfect peace to begin. He begins now. With a noisy mind, with a distracted heart, he begins. And each moment of attention becomes a light in the dark. You can be that light. You can train this discipline, not to become special, but to become real. Not to impress, but to serve. And not to escape life, but to enter it fully. This is what it means to focus like a bodhisattva. This is what it means to live awake. And so, I leave you with a simple instruction. When you eat, just eat. When you walk, just walk. When you listen, just listen. And when you love, love with your whole being. This is not a small thing. This is the whole path. And you are walking it now, step by step, breath by breath, with discipline, with grace, with great kindness. That is enough. That is everything. Karma of attention. Where you look, you go. Sit with me, dear one. Let me share something quietly, like wind brushing the surface of still water. Let me ask you something gentle but deep. When you walk into a garden and you stare only at the weeds, do you notice the flowers? When your thoughts stay fixed on pain, do you feel the joy waiting beside it? This is the quiet truth we must understand. Where you place your attention, your life starts to follow. Just like a river shapes the land it flows over, your attention carves the shape of your mind, moment by moment. Now listen carefully, not with your ears, but with your heart. In the teachings of the Buddha, there's a very important truth about karma, but not the karma most people talk about. Not just about past lives, or punishment or reward. No, the Buddha pointed to something more immediate. The karma of attention. This is the karma you create right now. With every moment you choose what to focus on. You see, the mind is always flowing. It's like a flashlight. It lights up whatever you point it at. If you always point it at your worries, your life becomes full of anxiety. If you point it at beauty, your life begins to feel beautiful. This is not magic. This is mindfulness. Let me tell you a little story. Once, a young monk was walking with his master through a forest. He was complaining, "Master, my mind always runs wild. I can't control my thoughts. I try to meditate, but I end up thinking about food, about memories, about nonsense." The old master smiled and said, "What you feed grows. What you ignore weakens." He picked up 2 small saplings from the ground and said, "Plant them both. Water only one." A week later, they came back. The watered sapling was growing strong. The other was dry and dying. The master simply said, "That is your mind. You must understand this. Attention is a seed and also the water. Whatever you give your attention to, it grows inside you. So if you keep thinking, 'I am not good enough. I am too late. I can't focus,' then those seeds grow stronger. But if you shift your attention gently toward presence, gratitude, and breath, you water peace. In Buddhism, this is called Yoniso Manasikara, wise attention. The Buddha said that wise attention is the forerunner of everything. When you train yourself to give attention to the right things, wisdom follows. When you give attention carelessly, suffering follows. Many people think karma is something that happens in the next life. But what if I told you that karma is being created this very second? Yes, your attention is your karma. You are shaping your future by what you are focusing on right now. Every time you react in anger, every time you chase a distraction, every time you get pulled into a spiral of thought, that's karma. Not punishment, not reward, just cause and effect. Mind moves, and the world inside you moves with it. A great Zen teacher once said, "Watch your attention like a cat watches a mouse." Do not be casual. Be alert. Be soft but awake. Even if thoughts come, and they will, you can gently guide attention back to now. Many people say, "But Master, I can't stop my thoughts." And I say, that's fine. Let the river flow, just don't jump in. You don't need to stop the noise. You just need to stop following it. Let the thoughts pass like clouds in the sky. You are not the cloud. You are the sky. Here's something very beautiful. The Buddha said, "With our thoughts, we make the world." This is not a metaphor. If you keep thinking angry thoughts, even a calm place will feel threatening. If you keep thinking kind thoughts, even a troubled place begins to soften. So you must train this attention, just as a gardener trains a wild plant. Gently, daily, with care. Start with one breath. Just one. Feel the breath as it enters your nose. Feel it as it leaves. Don't hold it. Don't change it. Just watch it. That's attention. From that one breath, your whole practice can grow. Every time the mind wanders, gently bring it back. That movement, from wandering to return, is where real strength is built. Some people ask, how long do I have to do this? And I say, until peace is your natural home. Until your attention becomes a place of rest, not struggle. Until your presence becomes more familiar than your distraction. Until you realize that focus is not something to chase. It's something to allow when the noise inside settles. Remember this. You become what you attend to. If you attend to sorrow, you become heavy. If you attend to beauty, you become soft. If you attend to anger, you become sharp. If you attend to breath, you become calm. The Buddha did not ask us to be perfect. He simply asked us to be aware. So begin noticing. Where's your attention going throughout the day? Is it scattered? Is it clinging to the past? Jumping to the future? Or is it with the task in front of you? When you eat, eat. When you walk, walk. When you speak, speak. That is focus. That is Zen. You don't need special tools. You don't need the perfect environment. You just need your willingness to return again and again. Every time you choose to return your attention to now, you are cleansing your karma. You are shaping your inner world. You are walking the path of awakening. So, if you've been struggling to focus, don't force. Just redirect your attention again and again with gentleness. That is how a monk does it. That is how a master becomes calm, not by controlling the storm, but by becoming the eye of it. In the end, the truth is simple. Where you look, you go. And now, you have the power to choose where you look. Focus, dear one, not because you must, but because it sets you free. Let's continue forward. The path is becoming clear.